What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? I want to talk to y'all about something really quick today because a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, have been asking me a lot of questions. And some of those questions are the same questions they have been asking me about my marriage. Like, how can you this? How can you that? Why not work on it? Why not do this? Blah, blah, blah. I want to tell y'all something that I've learned and now I'm teaching other women, right? And really anyone can use this, what I'm about to share with you. You can use this in your life in general. But since this is about marriage, relationships, things like that, I'm gonna answer specifically. In marriage, you're in that thing to win that thing, right? And so you can become aware of something, all right? You can put in the example there. You can become aware of something. And once you become aware of something, you do one of three things. This is typically how it goes. One, you just sweep it under the rug. You're like, this will get better, or I'm gonna try not to let this bother me, whatever. Two, you either acknowledge it and say, you know what? I wanna work on this. I'm gonna try to fix it. Either I'm gonna try to fix it or we need to try to fix this and let's work on this. This is where your counseling, your mediation, having discussions around it comes in at. And there's a third thing. You're like, you become aware, you're more conscious of it, right? And you're like, you know what? I actually don't want to deal with that. I'm sweeping it under the rug and I'm not going to fix it because I really shouldn't have to, or I'm not going to work with this person to fix it because either this has been going on for so long or saying what I signed up for or whatever the reason. So you do one of those three things typically in pretty much every marriage, in actually any type of relationships, but we're talking about marriage, right? And this is the part where I think people get things mixed up, is they think in marriage, when you become aware of something, whether it's however you want to rate it, big, it's a little bit of a problem, it's a big problem, it's not that big of a deal, or it's a detriment to me or whatever. So I think a lot of people, I think the people that ask me these questions are thinking marriage at all costs. Marriage is the end all of all, above all. It's for life. It's permanent. You're supposed to do whatever you got to do to fight for your marriage. You're supposed to do whatever you can do to keep it together. And there are those of us like out there that's like, we actually are some of the ones who did all that. I mean, I don't know people out here being married for 20 plus years who didn't fight for their marriage sometime along the way, go to counsel, try to work, try to fix, try to do all that. But stick a pin there, okay? Stick a pin there. Again, this is where I said I think people get things mixed up. I think people believe that because it's marriage, that it's created and ordained and made by the Most High and all of that, that all of us are supposed to do what I did. But you have to remember, we're not robots. I did what I did mainly because, not just because I loved my husband, but we also had children together. Not just a few children, but multiple children. So we had a large family. And so, of course, I'm gonna give it my all. There are women out there that are not gonna do this for 20 years. When you become aware of something, they're just not, whatever that something is, they're just not gonna do this for 20 years. Some people are out. I remember this actress named Heather Locklear, and she was super in love with her husband, crazy about him. Well, the word on the street was that he cheated on her with her best friend. There was no coming back from that for him. There was no coming back. She was like, I'm out. I know some women who, first sign of cheating, I'm out. First sign of beating, I'm out. I know some women, too many, that have stayed, even though there was beating, even though there was cheating. I know some women who just ignored it. Y'all have to remember, in religiosity and ministries and whatnot, I've seen a lot of that. I know of plenty of pastors' wives who knew their husbands were philandering with people in the church and decided to turn a blind eye. So once they became aware, they made a decision. Do nothing, ignore it, try to sweep it under the rug that they're gonna eventually trip over. Fix it, let's go to counsel, let's whatever, and then all of that. And then the third thing is like, now that I'm aware of this, I don't have to put up with this, I'm out. So it's like three different choices that we have. So remember when I said stick a pin in it? Just because I did this for 20 plus years does not mean I'm better and I gave it my all and a great shot. Oh, we tolerate your situation more because you 2 decades in versus someone who said, I'm out in year 5. I'm not better than the woman or whoever that left in year 5 and said, I'm not dealing with this shit. I'm not better than her just because I stayed longer. All right. Someone recently told me that, well, at least you stayed and fought. I was like, no, because the byproduct of that is teaching my children, especially my daughters, and I have 3 daughters, teaching them to tolerate and put up what you have become aware of and that you do not like, and that is actually a detriment to you, to keep it together, do your best to keep going, to fight for the marriage and all of that, for the sake of keeping the family together, for the sake of maybe appearances even, for the sake of being a married woman still instead of divorced or separated. I am teaching them what my mother taught me. One of the things my mother taught me was family at all costs, and I did the same thing. And so when I left, one of the things I realized, my support system started saying that to me, saying you have been teaching your daughters to stay, even your sons, but especially your daughters. But now, today, they said, today you taught them you don't have to stay in that. So I want y'all to understand that when y'all are asking me these questions, I don't mind your questions, by the way. I don't mind answering them and whatnot, especially to my premium people who actually pay to be in close proximity with me and let's get some things dealt with. I don't mind answering the question, but I want y'all to understand that all of us are not the same. There are things I was not going to put up with in my marriage that I didn't. There are other women who have told me, go back, y'all work on that. In spite of that, why don't you just do this now? And I'm like, no, I don't want to just do this now. I can do that by myself. I can do that on my own. So when you become aware, more conscious of something going on in your marriage or, your relationship, then you determine what you're going to do. And this is why more women are divorcing today than ever before, than ever like in times past, because number one, they can. They have the power to do so. But also because they're like, I'm not going to put up with my mama and big mama and great big mama and all of them put up with. I'm not going to put up with that. And men are looking at that. It's like, y'all don't want to fight anymore. Y'all don't want to stay together anymore. And I remember I used to agree with talk like that. I remember the late and great Bernie Mac did that. Talked about it on this Oprah show one time. It's like, no, nobody want to fight no more for marriage. I forget how long he had been married at that time, but it had been a good while. He said, don't nobody want to fight no more for marriage. And I agreed with that. I was married, and I agree with that. That probably was back in 2008 or something. But today, I don't think it's nobody want to fight for marriage no more, and no one want to stay with it. I think we're in a time where we're like, we don't have to put up with the shit. We really don't. So why? When we become more aware of something or things and conscious, we're looking at who we are being during these times, and we're like, I don't like who I'm being right now because I feel like I'm docile. I feel like I'm getting ran over. I feel like whatever, I feel less of me, whatever it is, I see that they're not changing. They're not doing the work that I have been doing. And so I think I just want to be out. Sometimes we ignore. Sometimes we work on it. And other times we're like, peace, deuces. And that's what it was for me. My consciousness and awareness was happening over time. I look back now, I'm like, oh, I see when it first started. I see when, because I remember being in counsel with pastor and pastor's wives at different churches. And one of the biggest things I would ask was, why do me and our children have to suffer for the decisions, not so good ones rather, that he make? I remember that. And I was told, I was reprimanded every time for that. You're one. Oh, your mouth ain't saved. You need to save your mouth and uplift this man and do it. And then I remember one of the last sessions that I had where I said that, because I stopped doing it. And they said something similar to me, and they were like, no, you're one, you're this. I said, we are one, but we're also individuals. And I don't make certain decisions when it comes to finances and whatnot. He does. But yet, because of the dynamic we have, I suffer too when he makes these decisions. And then I have to bail him out. I have to fix this, I have to fix that. And I'm tired. And finally, I got a pastor's wife to relate to me when she said that, oh, girl, I understand you being tired, but hang in there. the worst advice you can give is hang in there. When I'm becoming more conscious and aware of something that's been going on, and obviously it's not changing because it's a pattern and y'all not calling out the pattern and no one is holding him accountable, but y'all want to hold me accountable and tell me to hang in there. Got it. And this is one of the big reasons why I do what I do, because I'm not that one. I was always letting women know the voice and the power they have in their marriage. But me, on the other hand, I was believing that what I was doing was what I was supposed to do and what was best, but it was to my detriment. Once I was more aware, cognitive, and conscious of that, you damn right I left. And you damn right it may have took me a while, but I still did it, and I don't regret a thing. So I hope that helps somebody today. When you become more aware and conscious of things, your reaction is going to depend on who you are at that time. It could be one of those three things, but it's going to be something. Now, don't forget, I'm still your favorite sexologist and your navigator of love, leisure, and pleasure. And I created this really simple quiz that'll help you figure out where you really are when it comes to sex and frustration. Because yes, even women of faith deal with this, especially single women of faith. So go to yourfavoritesexologist.com and take the quiz right now.